Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish, and I'm your host for this program. I'm so excited that each and every one of you have tuned in. We have a great guest today, and if it's your very first time, thank you so much. Our show is designed in the purpose of interviewing and showcasing amazing women from around the world. We're supporting the things that they're doing on a global scale, and we're so excited about that. And you can check us out, listen to any of our programs through Spotify, iTunes, and you can always listen to or check out our website at divasthatcare.com. If you've ever checked that out, if you ever see the hashtag out there, it's Divas That Care. So make sure that you support the amazing women that are part of this program. Well, today, as I said, I'm really excited. We're welcoming back a diva that has been a part of the program multiple times now, and she's going to be sharing some amazing things that are happening in her life that I think that you'll all want to be a part of. Eileen Head, welcome to our program. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me on again. I love this platform.
Oh, I just love having you. You always share so many amazing things, and I really, each and every time I listen to you talk, I learn so much. So if you don't mind, for sharing a little bit about yourself for all of the new listeners for today's program.
I've been on quite a journey. I met my husband at 16 and married him at 18 and thought he was my Prince Charming, and thought that even though there was challenges when we were dating, he was quiet and moody and difficult to communicate with. I thought, you know what, being married will fix all that. That'll make all the difference in the world, or we'll figure it out as we went along. And we weren't able to do that. And so it ended up that there was a lot of stress in our family and in our relationship. We were great people. We had the same morals, but we just didn't know how to connect or connect in a way that I needed. It was sort of like he was behind, when someone's in the shower and the door's all steamy and you can see someone in there, but you're unable to connect with them. That's kind of what it was like for me.
And isn't that amazing? It's those things that we learn and we don't realize about ourselves. And you know what? And that's what I love about you is that you've learned so much from the experiences you've had, and it's kind of led you into what you are doing today. And I hope you don't mind sharing with us exactly what you're doing today.
Yeah, this journey took me on a self-discovery of who am I? Like, I searched for answers in this relationship in self-help books and workshops and marriage manuals and even going to a therapist, but never could put us together. And then I found the Enneagram personalities. And the people either go, oh, the Enneagram, I love it, or they go, the Ennea what? And the Enneagram's been around since the 1700s. Yep. It's a well-respected model. It's taught at Stanford University. They're trying to get it into the medical program. Corporations use it. Religions use it. Therapists. And what's unique about it is it's more in-depth than any other personality program because it takes you on a journey of identifying what's great about you, what people value in you, because that's what we're looking for in all our relationships. Do you value me? Do you value me? Do you value me? And it also shows you those traits that you struggle with and other people struggle with you as well, and how to change those patterns, very specific for each of your personalities, and build them into strengths. And so I learned about my ex-husband and I, and in 35 minutes of reading our profiles, I knew more about us than in all the 35 years we'd lived together. And it was like bells rang, aha happened. It was phenomenal for me.
When you and I had talked last time, I had learned a lot about that, and I learned a lot more about myself and my partner, my husband, and then my children. And I thought it was absolutely fascinating because, you think you know them, and then you read this like, oh, that is like them, and you don't realize how to communicate, how to work with them. And I thought that was really a really important step in our relationships in order to build that.
Yeah, and that's what's so surprising to people is how specific the personality details and traits and patterns are. And this is scientific data. This is researched scientific data based on a psychological model. So it's very interesting when people read it. For me, it was like reading my own biography, like, oh, this is what people like in me. Oh, this is what they're challenged with. I can be an intrusive helper. What? Who doesn't want help? Well, apparently a lot of people do. And, coming from an unconscious need to be needed, that's what I led with. And that isn't always great in your relationship. So I really learned, I learned about my ex-husband and I. I'm a two-supporter personality. I need connection. And for him, as the relationship went on and we didn't have that connection, I became more intense and more focused on this relationship. He's a 9 peace seeker. To him, that seemed controlling because he was trying to maintain his identity and his independence. He's quieter. He's not as communicative. And so he saw me as controlling. I saw him as rejection when he withdrew. We did that dance for 35 years. And if we'd just known our personality couple dynamics together and how each of us think, feel, act, react, and feel loved and want to be responded to, it just makes it so much easier. It's like having a roadmap. It's like, it's like having an operator's manual. When I see him being stressed, I could have read this about his personality and then how to support him, and the same with me.
That's what I find is so fascinating. And because it is something that is scientific, and I always think, why are not more people learning about this? Why isn't this a criteria before you get married? Because this would help so many marriages before they end. And, I guess we see a lot of that now. I've seen a lot of our friends and a lot of people that we know that have gone through the divorce and they just stopped communicating. And I'm thinking having this would have probably helped them so much more.
And maybe still could. Even after the divorce, this is really, really important to figure out what was my part in that relationship, what really happened, what really went on, what could I learn from it, how could I be better. And, the statistics are that the fastest growing demographic of divorce is the 50-plus because, for a lot of the women, they raise the kids, they do everything, and then they go, is this all there is? And what happens with men are fixers. And if they're unable to fix the situation, they don't know what to do. So they shut down or get busy or turn away because they feel blamed. A lot of us girls grew up with the Cinderella story, that it was the prince who was supposed to make us happy. And there's no fairy tale for the men of how we are supposed to make them happy. And so when I do coaching with couples, it's fascinating because I teach them their impact on each other, how they're relating to each other. And this one couple was so funny. She came to me in the should I stay or should I go conversation. She said, he's a bully, he's controlling, I'm leaving. And yet when we got into it, he said, well, I'd like to tell my perspective. And here he was trying to help her. He was a very strong personality type, but she wasn't speaking up. She wasn't standing up for herself. She was sort of in victim of feeling powerless. And when I started to teach them about each other, and I said to her, you need to stand up and be direct and tell them exactly what you need. And she looked at him and she said, wouldn't you get mad? And he goes, no, please tell me. And so I get a call about, after about 4 or 5 sessions, and she said, what did you do to my husband? And I thought, how's this going to go? And she said, he's so nice. He's so respectful. So I taught him to talk to her in her language and her to talk to him in his language. And then they can go about solving everyday situations, which are, the things that drive us crazy are the most, why are you fighting over that? Well, you're not really fighting over that. You're fighting under an underlying issue, like, why do you always leave the cupboard doors open when you know it bugs me? Things like that.
Oh, I love that. What a beautiful story. How are you getting this information out there so that more and more people can hear you, can learn about this? Because that's where I'm at. I want to know how we can get this information to the thousands of people out there that could really use you.
Well, it's on platforms like this and you giving me an opportunity. I want people to know there really are answers, and they stay stuck in these patterns of feeling, even in great relationships, sometimes they feel stuck, powerless, and trapped. This information is very, very specific. It's quick, but somebody has to take action to change the pattern of the dynamics that you're in. And that can be a boss and you as an employee or a coworker or your children or siblings or family or even parents. I've had a gal who was in her 50s who is still looking for acknowledgement from her father, as lots of people are. And it is through understanding that they may not be able to give that to you, or this is their style of communicating, or even of loving you when it doesn't feel loving to you. And her father ended up going into hospice, and she started reading him about the Enneagram and his personality and her personality, and he just lit up. He got it. Oh, I understand. Here's how I thought this was loving, and they healed their relationship.
Wow. And you've got some things going on right away here. For any of our listeners, you have I believe it's a new program coming out right away here. And would you mind sharing that with our listeners today?
It's starting on Monday, and the early bird is ending today or tomorrow, I think. And it's called Open Your Heart to Loving Again. And this is for all your relationships. It's in partnership because even in good relationships, we get hurt. Hurt creates resentment. Resentment causes shutdown. It causes disconnection. And if you're single, it is about truly understanding yourself and how to open your heart from those past relationships that didn't work out and how you can understand how you can go forward. So it's through understanding yourself, your partner, and all your relationships. That's how you open your heart. That's how you create relationships where you can feel joyful and happy and work out conflicts really easily. So it's a 6-week program. It's online. It's very inexpensive. If you go to my website, eileenhead.com, you'll see up there on the menu, Open Your Heart to Loving Again. If you're hearing this later, there will be replays. And if it's not posted on my website, for replays, then just send me an email, contact me, and I can set you up with a program. But you're going to learn the deadly sins of relationships, the resentments, the justifications, the shutting down, and we're going to go through all 9 personalities so you understand and relate to them. Oh, here's part of myself that I never knew. I never knew that about my husband. Conversations of how to open to conversations. Tell me if this is true for you. I want to understand you better. I'm taking this course. Or, you know what, I didn't realize this about myself, and I can see how that would be a challenge to you. These are conversation starters to open up the dialogue again.
And that is so important. I love that. And that's what it's all about. We want to have these happy relationships. We want to have these connections with people, not just in our personal lives, but in our business lives. And if we know how to communicate with people, then that is just going to make things so much better and so much easier, and we're all going to be a lot more happier, I believe.
Yeah, and there's 3 A's: acknowledgement, affirmation, and appreciation is the magic. Even in relationships that are broken down, if you start genuinely sharing something you appreciate about someone in your life, a lot of times those relationships can be reconnected again.
I love that. And I just want to let our listeners know that Eileen does work with individuals all around the world. So make sure that you definitely tune into her and check her out if you're looking also for, you were saying, one-on-one coaching also, or so that you can work with people just on one-on-one, correct?
Absolutely. Whether it's should I stay or should I go, have a look at that program, singles programs, individuals who want to become their best self, who want to grow and move out of the victimhood of the struggle that we all sort of seem to come from and need to overcome in order to thrive.
I love it. And you are also an author. Can you share your book with our listeners so that they can go pick up one of those?
My book is called Why Can't I Figure It Out? I spent 35 years in that. And it's sort of the story of my journey of going through that and the insights I learned about the Enneagram and divorce. If any of you have gone through divorce, that's a real lovely growing experience as well. But the cool thing about what I learned about the Enneagram and what helped me with my divorce was I helped transition my ex-husband and my kids through a very peaceful divorce. And even afterwards, we got together once a month with the kids and had supper. So this is learning your Enneagram and all the Enneagram personalities, the 9 of them, will give you skills and tools to navigate your life and to create the life that you desire and the love you desire.
That's perfect. And I just want to let all of our listeners know, I think I share this quite a bit on our program, but it's so important to me about the younger generations and how we use our program for them. And I think this program here is perfect for all of your children. For any of our divas that are listening and you've got especially teenagers, make sure that you talk to her and talk to Arlene and just say, you know what, I've got a teenager and I would love to use this because, you know what, this is just going to help them for the rest of their lives. And they're just going to do more amazing things with their life and impact other people. So make sure you think about them when you're looking at talking to her, because I think that would be a great thing also. Oh, my goodness, I've had so much
helps
fun.
you. If you understand your personality, it helps you understand what career to go into. Anybody who understands their personality, like teenagers, it gives them self-confidence and self-esteem so that they're not swayed by other people's comments, etc. And I have worked with parents and kids, and it doesn't take much. You just give them the insights, and off they go.
And it's a great thing. And just think of all the debt they won't have later on if they're changing their major in college and university.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'd like to ask you, Arlene, do you have any tips or tools, things you'd love to share with our listeners today?
Yes. Go to my website. I've got a free relationship call. There's the free personality test on there. I've got webinars of are your personality differences sabotaging your relationship? There's tons of free stuff if you follow along, or just send me an email and tell me where you're at. Let's book a call. Let's see what's going on. I'm happy to share with you whatever resources I have to make your life happier, to get you moving out of the stuck pattern and taking action. And that feels powerful. When you step forward, you can shift everything, relationships, everything. As long as one person shifts, everything shifts around them.
That's awesome advice. Thank you so much. And you know what? I really want to say thank you so much for being on our program today and coming back. I love having you on each and every time. You have so much to share with us. And I think to all of our listeners, you really need to check out her website. I've had the opportunity to go through that website, and I took the personality test, and I thought they were absolutely fantastic. So it's definitely something you need to all do, and it just helps you out, and it's fun to do. We definitely get a insight into who we are a little bit more than we actually knew before, and I love that. So thank you so much for sharing that with all of our listeners today.
Thank you so much. Please take action and create the life you desire.
And I just want to let everybody know, too, I'm going to be posting some information to make sure that you check out her new program that she's got out there so that you can, if you're interested, you can get the discount that's happening today and tomorrow, and then it starts on Monday. So that's pretty exciting. And we'll be posting that on all our different social media links out there. But as I said, I want to thank you so much, Arlene, for coming on the program. I want to thank all of our amazing listeners for tuning into our program. It's because of you that we've continued to do this program for 10 years. It has been 10 years since the Divas That Care started, and we're so excited. We now have 10 Diva hosts on our program, and we will be expanding that through 2020 to incorporate some new hosts into our program, so you don't want to miss them at divasthatcare.com. You can also check us out, as I said earlier, on iTunes, Spotify, and basically any platform out there. We're really excited about being a part of all that. So thank each and every one of you for coming and listening to our program. I hope that each and every one of you has an amazing day and that you make sure that you do something kind. Until next time, bye-bye, everybody.